So today our class on meningitis, also called brain fever, dimagi bukhar, and basically discuss bacterial meningitis, is also called pyomeningitis. So what is meningitis? As name, inflammation of meninges. There are three meningeal layer in brain or spinal cord. And inflammation of these layer is called meningitis. And symptoms mainly child comes with fever. Child having long fever, acute fever, high grade fever, along with some CNS symptoms. Child having headache, vomiting, altered sensorium, seizure. These are symptoms of CNS involvement. If child having fever with involvement of these symptoms, child having suggestive of meningitis. And meningitis may be bacterial, viral, fungal, tubercular. And today we discuss bacterial meningitis. This is a serious disease, causes long-term complication, higher mortality and morbidity. And firstly, what is the etiology? Which bacteria is the commonest, is the commonly causes meningitis in a particular age group? It depends on the age of child, immune status of child, और third is the environment of child. जहाँ child रह रहा है, at the home or child admitted in a hospital, so in that setup, hospital acquired infections are also common cause of meningitis. This is the etiology. If child having neonatal period up to 1 month or 2 months of age, in India mostly gram-negative enteric bacilli, E. coli, Klebsiella, Salmonella is the commonest cause of meningitis. So in neonatal period, gram-negative enteric bacilli, and in Western countries, Listeria monocytogenes and group B streptococcus are common in Western countries. In our India, gram-negative enteric bacilli is the commonest cause. And after postnatal period, after 1 or 2 months of age, commonest cause is streptococcal pneumonia or pneumococcus. Other common is H. influenzae or Neisseria meningitis, Neisseria, and less common is Staph, Cons or Salmonella or other gram-negative infections are commonest. These are risk factors. Normally, meningitis not occur in a immunocompetent. Normally, if child having some immunodeficiency or child comes in contact with some high virulent bacteria, if child having in India poverty, poor sanitation, excessive disease spreads in a home, mostly they living in a poor conditions where the spread of infection is so much common. In these conditions, the infection can spread from one person to other, and they are more prevalent to cause meningitis. So कहीं ना कहीं there is a immunocompetency, immunodeficiency. Child having somehow immunodeficient are more prone to become severe or recurrent meningitis. If child having some immunodeficiency, child having agammaglobulinemia, hypogammaglobulinemia, having some congenital complement or other system defect, child having splenectomy, post-splenectomy, or due to any other cause, child having immunocompromised due to HIV or other immunocompetent disease, there are more chances to become development of meningitis. And in CSF leak, child having fracture of middle cranial fossa, child having other fractures, and child having infection of this that are more prevalent to causes pneumococcal meningitis. And in contrast, if child having VP shunt due to any hydrocephalus or child having other CNS infection, more chances to become infection by or meningitis by staphylococcal meningitis. Their pathology, how this occurs by infection of any bacteria. There are three pathology that occurs behind the acute bacterial meningitis. First is exudate formation, second is sublayer toxemia, and third is vasculitis and thrombosis of veins. These are for theoretical purpose. These are not much important. I describe briefly. Exudate formation. If due to any infection of brain that causes thickness of cerebral CSF, there is a collection of cerebral fluid in a thickened state in the wall of the brain, around the surface, around the ridges, base of the brain, and around the blood vessels, that lead to raised ICT, sign of hydrocephalus or other open motor neuron. These are due to formation of exudate. Exudate formation is mostly occurring in CNS tuberculosis. So CNS tuberculosis is the commonest meningitis that are having thick exudate. But in pyomeningitis, there is also formation of exudate that lead to hydrocephalus, sign of meningeal irritation or other sign symptoms of meningitis. Vascular changes occur in the small vessels or venous sinuses that lead to further damage of brain. Sublayer toxemia that lead to formation of cerebral edema. As infection reaches to brain by blood, by choroid plexus of the lateral ventricles. As infection reaches to the ventricles, that proliferate the bacteria in the lateral ventricle CSF, and that causes excessive release of toxins of these bacteria. That may lead to increased vascular permeability, increased hydrostatic pressure, that lead to further formation of excessive cerebral edema and signs and symptoms of these meningitis in form of headache, vomiting, raised ICT, or formation of hydrocephalus that may be communicating or non-communicating. And most important thing is clinical feature. How you suspect child having meningitis? As I described, child normally comes with a fever, child having high grade fever, child is toxic look, along with high grade fever, child having these classical symptoms. There are three classical symptoms: fever, headache and vomiting. These are tried for meningitis. Fever, headache, vomiting is present almost 80 to 90% cases of meningitis. Along with these symptoms, child may have a sensorium alteration, child having seizure, irritability, pain abdomen, child may have vomiting, high grade. These are other symptoms of typical meningitis, and there are two types of presentation on the acuteness of disease. If child comes with within 2 days of fever or symptoms come, it is a hyperacute presentation. In hyperacute presentation, there is a more chances to become a sequelae in compared to acute presentation, where it requires 5 to 7 days to become a full-blown sign symptoms of meningitis. These classical symptoms are normally seen in the children about 2 months of age. Fever, headache, vomiting, these are symptoms seen in about 2 months of age, but these are not classical symptoms seen in the below 1 or 2 months of age. In neonatal period, these are not classical symptoms. Child comes in contrast, child comes with a hypothermia, child comes with irritability, or child is dullness, child having hypoglycemia, respiratory irregularity, child which comes with apnea, child having increased vomiting, or child having interfontanel fullness, or child with seizure. These are classical symptoms in neonatal period. These are not seen in a child more than 2 months of age. So in below 2 months of age, altered behavior is the commonest. If child taking feed orally and after 1 day child not taking feed orally, or child is dull, then you always suspect the child may having chances of septicemia with meningitis. Because if you delay the diagnosis, it leads to sequelae in a form of hydrocephalus or subdural effusion or other complication or brain abscess in the future. So these symptoms are classically seen in neonatal period, in contrast to child more than 2 months of age having fever, headache, vomiting. Seizure. Normally seizure is not seen in a meningitis, because meningitis is a infection of meninges, and seizure is occur due to involvement of cerebral cortex or encephalon. Brain को we are talking encephalon. Brain is in scientific term called encephalon. Brain को scientifically encephalon बोलते हैं. तो यहाँ पर meningitis में normally meninges involve होती हैं, encephalon involve नहीं होता. But unlikely the nearby area of brain where meninges are touched, they can involve, that lead to mild form of cerebritis, or child having some electrolyte imbalance, that may lead to seizure. Otherwise seizure is not a typical sign symptoms of meningitis. Seizure is a typical sign symptom is of encephalitis. Encephalitis, meningitis, both are different things. Encephalitis means inflammation of encephalon or cerebral cortex, and meningitis is encephalon or meninges. These are classical signs and symptoms I described. Fever, headache, vomiting are commonest. Other are pain, abdomen, vomiting, or altered sensorium. These are just less likely clinical features in a case of meningitis. When you suspect child having meningitis, child having typical fever, headache, vomiting, or if child is small, child having altered behavior, hypothermia. And second thing is how you confirm this is meningitis. Suspect करने से काम नहीं चलेगा. After that to confirm it. The confirmation of meningitis is only done by CSF examination. So CSF examination is very important. In CSF examination, first is the appearance of CSF, CSF pressure, cell count of CSF, protein, sugar, chloride, and bacteriological status of CSF. These 6-7 points are examined in every CSF of suspicion of meningitis. The appearance, normally CSF is turbid in appearance. Normal CSF is watery, colorless, and normal cell count is less than 5. Lymphoreticular. Normal protein in CSF is 15 to 45 milligram percent. Normal sugar of CSF is 2/3 of blood sugar, around 60 milligram percent. And normal pressure of CSF is 50 to 180 millimeter of water. So these are normal findings: normal pressure, normal cell, normal protein, normal sugar. And in pyomeningitis, pressure is raised, pressure reaching up to 200 to 500. नॉर्मल है 50 से 180. यहाँ प्रेशर हो गया इंक्रीज 200 to 500. Normal cell count is less than 5. Lymphoreticular. यहाँ पर सेल काउंट रीच इन 1000, few thousands, and basically न्यूट्रोफिलिक डोमिनेंस। नॉर्मल CSF में एक भी न्यूट्रोफिल नहीं होती। यदि CSF में एक भी न्यूट्रोफिल है, दिस इज abnormal। तो even single neutrophil in CSF is a suggestive of meningitis after 2 months of age. So, and in this pyomeningitis, they are full of neutrophilic predominance. Protein is raised from 1545 to reaching up to milligrams, up to grams, and sugar is decreased below 40. Along with this, chances of positivity of CSF, gram staining, culture or PCR, if you advise the chances there is a gram positive or gram negative bacteria is easily find out by CSF gram staining before starting antibiotic. So always do CSF examination as you suspect, because after giving your antibiotic shot, CSF picture may be changes or absent. CSF cellular, CSF microscopy is absent after antibiotic. These are normal CSF in a pyogenic meningitis. There is an increased pressure, increased cell count, neutrophils are predominant, protein is raised, and gram staining and culture seen positive in these. These are typical picture of pyomeningitis child. And one line of where we repeat CSF. Initially जब हम पढ़ते थे तो there are protocol of repeat of CSF before concluding the treatment. ट्रीटमेंट खत्म करने से पहले CSF करना जरूरी होता था to prove कि child is completely cured from meningitis. But now a time, if child having classical patient and child respond very well while antibiotics, child is afebrile within 48 hours, other parameters become normal, child have no other complication, there is no indication of repetition of CSF. These are repeat only in cases of child having resistant gram negative bacteria infection, or if child is below 2 months of age. Otherwise there is no indication of repetition of CSF in a child more than 2 months of age. Gram staining I describe is a very good modality for early diagnosis to find out the type of bacteria, and on the basis of this you can start proper antibiotics. If in gram staining showing suggestive of child having pneumococcal infection, you directly start penicillin along with ceftriaxone, or you start with penicillin with vancomycin. So child respond very well and there are no chances of complication. So gram staining is very good modality to diagnose the number or type of bacteria to start proper treatment. And as described, number of as much bacteria increases in CSF, their positive chances increases, and more positivity seen in pneumococcal and HSNG. Other investigation after gram staining, other now time CRP, PCR or rapid test. Rapid test is to diagnose further antigens of these bacteria. PCR or CRP is mostly used to differentiate between child having pyomeningitis or child in between viral meningitis, or child in between partial treated meningitis and between viral meningitis. Because in many cases child come with after taking treatment in periphery. मरीज नॉर्मली ट्रीटमेंट एंटीबायोटिक्स गाँव में ले लेता है, इंजेक्शन लगवा लिए, और व्हेन चाइल्ड कम विद यू एंड CSF शोइंग द डायसी पिक्चर, यू आर नॉट रीचिंग अ प्रॉपर डायग्नोसिस कि इसको मेनिंजाइटिस है या वायरल मेनिंजाइटिस है. तो इन दीज केसेस PCR or CRP test is useful because CRP is normally raised in only बैक्टीरियल मेनिंजाइटिस, वायरल में इतना रेज नहीं होता. और दूसरा PCR से आप डायरेक्ट फाइंड आउट द बैक्टीरियोलॉजिकल स्टेटस ऑफ CSF. तो these tests used in difference between a partial treated meningitis and viral meningitis. And CT और MRI is a not modality of choice. तो CT स्कैन और MRI कोई डायग्नोस्टिक मोडिलिटी नहीं है. It helps in a further management. If child having these complications, child having hydrocephalus, subdural effusion, focal finding, or child having papilledema, blurring of vision, in this case you indicated neuroimaging. Otherwise, neuroimaging is not advised in any case of meningitis. EEG. EEG is also not a modality of diagnostics. Where child having focal finding, focal seizure, persistence of seizure, to find out, to increase your anticonvulsant, to increase anti-epileptic. In this case, you advise EEG. Otherwise, EEG is also not modality of choice for diagnosis of. After you diagnose your meningitis, then you reach a differential diagnosis, because meningitis may be due to virus, due to bacteria, due to tubercular bacteria, due to parasite, or due to fungal. Anyone can cause meningitis, and in all these meningitis, fever, headache, vomiting is the commonest presentation. In this case, child having typical history. If child having viral meningitis, child having typical small viral prodromal history, and when you advise CSF, having clear CSF and lymphocytic predominance, and protein sugar is within normal range in a viral meningitis, in contrast to pyogenic meningitis. In tubercular meningitis, child having long history, prolonged history of fever, 15 दिन महीने की फीवर की है, हेडेक है, वोमिटिंग है, वेट लॉस है, फैमिली हिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉन्टैक्ट है, फैमिली में ट्यूबरकुलोसिस है, एंड इन दिस केस इफ यू एडवाइज CSF having lymphocytic counts increase within hundreds, 10 to 500, protein increase in a grams, and sugar decrease. These are something contrast from meningitis. So you should know difference between a pyogenic meningitis, viral meningitis, and tubercular meningitis. And the CSF finding of all three meningitis is different, because treatment is also different. If you are not diagnosed a meningitis timely, someone definitely sue in court. So timely and appropriately diagnosis meningitis is very important, क्योंकि इसकी सिक्वली से बच्चा आपका मेंटल रिटार्ड हो सकता है या उसको एपिलेप्सी बन सकती है. तो इसको टाइमली डायग्नोज करना बहुत जरूरी है. The complication, if you are not treated timely, properly, child may enter in these complications. तो इसलिए टाइम से डायग्नोज करना जरूरी है. चाइल्ड में कम विद SIADS, चाइल्ड में कम विद शॉक, सेप्टिसीमिया, subdural effusion. In this, subdural effusion is a very well-known entity. If you are suspecting a child of meningitis, or you are starting your treatment, and after giving a treatment, if child is not responding after 3 days of treatment, or child initially respond and again start fever, or child comes with a focal finding, or child comes with a raised bulging and fontanelle, you always suspect child may develop complication of subdural effusion. And in this condition, you advise MRI or CT scan for confirming and further treatment of subdural effusion. Other are complications. These are child may develop brain abscess or other complication or peripheral involvement of. And lastly, you are suspecting, you are diagnosing, you are investigating the meningitis. And most important thing is a management, क्योंकि proper, timely, appropriately management is very important. These are algorithm. How you proceed in a case of meningitis. If child comes with a fever, headache, vomiting, or may alter sensorium or seizure, then you suspect child having meningitis. And always rule out two things: papilledema and focal finding. For papilledema, you examine fundus. For focal finding, means child having hemiplegia, convulsion in a single limb. These are focal findings. Or child having one-sided 7th cranial palsy or 6th cranial palsy due to raised ICT. So these are focal findings. So always rule out papilledema and focal finding. And then you proceed in two groups. If these findings are absent, so these are probable meningitis. In this, you send blood culture and you start empirical antibiotics and advise CSF. If CSF is positive, you start antibiotics, जो मैं आगे डिस्कस करूँगा क्या देनी है. A second group, if child having some focal finding, or then child में chances of some brain mass lesion, child may have chances of AV malformation, abscess, brain ixole, anything can possible. In this case, you always advise. In this case, you always advise neuroimaging before starting treatment. So, if child having no focal finding, you do CSF and start antibiotics. If child having some focal finding, child having some papilledema, you always advise CT scan to rule out any focal involvement, because it requires other treatment along with antibiotics. These are important things when you proceed in a meningitis. These are meningitis treatment, and most important thing is antibiotics. Most specific treatment is a antibiotic, and other supportive for treatment of fever, treatment of headache, treatment of acid-base imbalance, treatment of shock, treatment of dehydration, treatment of other complications. So most important thing is specific treatment and others are supportive treatment. And specific treatment is antibiotics. अब आपको कौन से एंटीबायोटिक्स देनी है? अब एंटीबायोटिक्स तो देनी है. तो these are on the basis of बच्चे की एज क्या है, बच्चे का प्रेजेंटेशन कैसा है, उसका इम्यून स्टेटस क्या है, या फिर जिस एनवायरनमेंट में रहा वहाँ पे ऐसा बैक्टीरिया तो नहीं है. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस, बिकॉज प्रॉम्प्ट स्टार्टिंग ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक्स इज द अटमोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट. जितना आप ट्रीटमेंट डिले करोगे उतने चांसेस ऑफ कॉम्प्लिकेशन बढ़ जाती हैं. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ ऑल दीज यू स्टार्ट एंटीबायोटिक्स promptly. And which antibiotics start? Mostly in a particular, if child having below 1 month of age, and you know child having gram negative enteric bacilli is the commonest, so any antibiotics which cover gram negative bacilli, you start your empirical antibiotics. And after 1 month of, you know ki pneumococcal H.F. and meningococcal is the commonest bacteria. You choose the antibiotics which cover all these bacteria in a form of empirical antibiotics. and when the culture report arrives, you change your antibiotics on the basis of culture. So empirical antibiotics on the age group, on the prevalence of bacteria, age of child or immune status of child, and further change antibiotics when culture report arrives. As I described, in gram-negative 0 to 2 months of age, gram-negative bacteria is a commonest bacteria in India or our country, gram-negative Enterobacilli, and in Western countries, other gram-positive bacteria are commonest cause of. These are important. And antibiotics, जो भी gram-negative bacteria के against antibiotic choice है, first line is the ampicillin plus gentamicin or cefotaxime/ceftriaxone. These are drug of choice for empirical antibiotics. यदि आपको लग रहा है 2 महीने से कम बच्चा है, meningitis है, तो आपका CSF की यदि कल्चर की रिपोर्ट नहीं आती है, तो you should start in the basis of this ampicillin plus gentamicin or cefotaxime/ceftriaxone. कुछ भी स्टार्ट कर सकते हो इन अ फुल डोज. Ceftriaxone given a dose of 100 mg per kg per day, cefotaxime dose of 150 to 50 mg per kg per day, and gentamicin is 5 to 8 mg per kg per day, and ampicillin is 25 to 50 mg per kg per dose 4 hourly. In a full blown dose is given these antibiotics. If you are suspecting Pseudomonas, then you start ceftazidime in a dose of 150 mg per kg per day in a 2-3 divided doses. These are other antibiotics mainly in preterm babies. जो भी preterm बच्चे हैं जो NICU में स्टे होते हैं, तो वहाँ पर ग्राम नेगेटिव बैक्टीरिया और भी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड इन्फेक्ट हो सकते हैं. वहाँ पर आप यू कैन गिव अदर एंटीबायोटिक्स लाइक मीरोपिनम, सिफिफिम, फ्लोरोक्विनोन on the basis of culture sensitivity of your NICU, your hospital, and you give these antibiotics for multi-drug resistant bacteria. Otherwise, initial antibiotics is ampicillin, gentamicin/cefotaxime or ceftriaxone. After culture report arrives, normally GBS, Listeria, these are sensitive to penicillin or ampicillin. Penicillin or ampicillin, these are very good sensitive against these bacteria. For Enterococci, ampicillin plus gentamicin is a drug of choice. So coliform bacteria means gram-negative Enterobacilli. Cefotaxime or ceftriaxone is a drug of choice. And after that you start the antibiotics. पर कितने दिन तक देनी है? How much duration you give treatment? That is also important. For gram-positive bacteria, you give 2 weeks after bacteriological clearance, and gram-negative bacteria minimum 3 to 6 weeks is required, and you can give up to 8 to 10 weeks. If child is not proper, child symptom is not proper, child fever is not clear out, then you can increase your treatment for up to 8 to 10 weeks. So proper selection of antibiotics, dose and duration, all 3 things are requirement for a proper management of meningitis. After 2 months of age, 2 महीने के बाद pneumococcal, H. influenzae and meningococcal, these are 3 bacteria commonest to cause. तो अपने को कोई ऐसी एंटीबायोटिक्स देनी है वो तीनों बैक्टीरिया कवर करे. एंड इन दिस थर्ड जनरेशन cephalosporin, ceftriaxone is a drug of choice in after 2 months of age in a dose of 100 mg per kg per day in a 2 divided doses. For every case of meningitis, so initial antibiotics is a meningitis. आप वार्ड में जाते हो, आपने देखा होगा हर पेशेंट को ceftriaxone एंटीबायोटिक्स ही क्यों चलती है. हर जगह, चाहे पीडियाट्रिक्स वार्ड में जाओ, मेडिसिन वार्ड में जाओ, हर जगह ceftriaxone ही क्यों दी जाती है. उसका रीजन यही है क्योंकि ceftriaxone इज अ वेरी गुड एंटीबायोटिक्स. तो इसी को कहीं भी मेनिंजाइटिस कॉम्प्लिकेशन नहीं हो उसको रोकने के लिए पूरे अस्पताल में हर वार्ड में इनिशियल एंटीबायोटिक सेफ्ट्राइजोन ही दी जाती है। एंड आई डिस्क्राइब की सेफ्ट्राइजोन सिफोटेक्सिम इज अ ड्रग ऑफ चॉइस। इनिशियल में एम्पिसिलिन, क्लोरामफेनिकोल दी जाती थी, पर नाउ टाइम सेफ्ट्राइजोन सिफोटेक्सिम एंड वेनकोमाइसिन इज ऑलवेज एडेड फॉर रेजिस्टेंट न्यूमोकोकल। जब आपको लग रहा है कि पेशेंट रेस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा है, न्यूमोकोकल इन्फेक्शन कल्चर में प्रूव हो चुका है, देन यू एड वेनकोमाइसिन डोज ऑफ 60 मिलीग्राम per kg in a 4 divided dose for resistant pneumococcal bacteria. And in the duration, normally after 2 months of age, duration of treatment is at 2 weeks. 10 से 14 दिन का ट्रीटमेंट होता है। एंड इफ यू आर सस्पेक्टिंग चाइल्ड हैव ग्राम नेगेटिव बैक्टीरिया, यू कैन गिव ट्रीटमेंट मोर देन 3 to 4 weeks. Otherwise 2 weeks is the ideal treatment. And if child is suspecting gram negative, you can increase treatment up to 3 or 4 weeks minimum. These are not and some lamps on corticosteroid. Normally now a time corticosteroid dexamethasone is a given before starting antibiotics. As I know कि this is an anti-inflammatory. It decreases the vasogenic edema, swelling, raised ICT or sensorineural deafness. These are functions of corticosteroid. So we are giving corticosteroid after 2 months of age. In neonatal period there is no use of steroid, corticosteroid. These are given after 2 months of age. In a mostly pneumococcal and H. influenzae cases, because these two bacteria are prone to cause sensorineural deafness. ये दिमाग में फिक्स रखो, यदि आपने किसी को मेनिंजाइटिस ट्रीट कर दिया विदाउट गिविंग डेक्सोना, देयर चांसेस ऑफ डीफनेस, वो आपको कोर्ट में 100% केस करेगा आपके ऊपर। तो दिमाग फिक्स करने की बात है, इफ यू आर सस्पेक्टिंग दीज बैक्टीरिया, ऑलवेज गिव डेक्सामेथासोन आफ्टर 2 months of age in a dose of 0.1 milligram per kg per dose 6 hourly for 4 days, and not given in a viral meningitis and below 2 months of age. These are supportive treatment of the patient in form of fluid, electrolyte or proper pulse, temperature, head circumference, weight measurement for a assessment, follow-up of these patient. And last is a chemoprophylaxis. आपने अब तक जो किया वो मरीज के लिए किया है, मरीज को मेनिंजाइटिस है, अब ये करना है मरीज के घर वालों के लिए। यदि आपने मरीज का इलाज कर दिया, घर वालों को इलाज नहीं किया, तो वो भी आप पे केस कर देगा कि साहब हमको तो आपने कुछ किया ही नहीं, बच्चे के साथ हमारे भी मेनिंजाइटिस हो गई तो हमारे को एक्स्ट्रा इलाज करना पड़ा। तो दीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कीमोप्रोफाइलेक्सिस फॉर द अदर पर्सन्स जो मरीज के साथ रह रहे हैं, या वार्ड में जो मरीज के माँ बाप हैं या नियर बाय अटेंडेंट हैं, उनके लिए भी यू गिव कीमोप्रोफाइलेक्सिस। फॉर H. influenzae you give rifampicin 20 milligram per kg for 4 days. If child is below 1 month of age, in infant you give 10 milligram. These are very much important, and these are meningococcal. Meningococcal meningitis so severe, यदि आपने कभी देखा तो चाइल्ड में expire within a 24 to 48 hours if you are not diagnosed Neisseria meningitis. पर आपने मरीज को देख लिया और डायग्नोस किया, मरीज तो मर गया। यदि आपने टच कर लिया उस मेनिंजाइटिस को, बच्चे को, तो आपको भी चांस है यू बिकम प्रे टू बी दिस मेनिंजाइटिस, और आपके साथ भी अगले 48 घंटे में वही होगा जो बच्चे के साथ हुआ है। तो इसलिए बहुत दिमाग में फिक्स रखो, यदि किसी को Neisseria meningitis है तो आपको भी प्रोफाइलेक्सिस लेना है, उसके घर वालों को भी देना है। ये नहीं कि आप इससे डॉक्टर्स तक भी एक्सपायर हो चुके हैं इस मेनिंजाइटिस से, गलती से। तो आपको हमेशा ध्यान में रखना, बिकॉज चाइल्ड हैविंग टिपिकल पेटिचल रेसेस, हाई ग्रेड फीवर एंड चाइल्ड एंटर इन द शॉक। पेशेंट आएगा, साहब हाई ग्रेड फीवर है, पूरा शरीर लाल लाल हो गया है और सडन कोलैप्स हो जाएगा। फिर आपने टच कर लिया तो आपको भी मेनिंजाइटिस होगा। इन दिस केस यू ऑलवेज टेक रिफेम्पिसिन। मैं अब तक कम से कम 5-7 बार रिफेम्पिसिन खा चुका हूँ इस चक्कर में, तो मुझे भी खानी पड़ती है, कई बार हम भी टच कर लेते हैं पेशेंट को। तो दीज आर ऑल्सो फॉर यू एंड द अटेंडेंट ऑफ पेशेंट। गिव रिफेम्पिसिन 10 milligram per kg for 2 days, or single shot of ceftriaxone or single shot of ciprofloxacin for chemoprophylaxis. And lastly, prognosis तो आप पे डिपेंड करेगा, आप किस एज पे बच्चा है, अर्लीस्ट टू डायग्नोज, अर्लीस्ट टू गिव ट्रीटमेंट, प्रॉपर ट्रीटमेंट। दिया आपने टाइम से तो अच्छा हो जाएगा, नहीं दिया तो, और मरीज की सिक्वेल वो है। और लास्ट में सिक्वेली, तो हियरिंग लॉस, sensorineural hearing loss is one of the commonest complications. As I described, Hib and pneumococcal. To prevent this, always give corticosteroid, normally before starting antibiotics. Other are visual, MR, or child may develop epilepsy or developmental delay. So these are meningitis. And now you can ask anything